So it's 4:45 p.m. right now, and I'm gonna give myself only 15 minutes to speak. And yes, this is the Hermosi timer, but yeah, I think this is more kind of like a message or a video for myself more than for whoever is watching this one. Um, so I started my journey, or I delved into online business or trying to make money online in 2023, right? The beginning. I knew about online business in kind of around the end of 2022, which is fun fact, the first time I ever got a really serious surgery in my right eye. Same thing glaucoma, but that's besides the point. And I've been hustling, as I say, to try to make money online, but it's literally 2026. All right, 2026. Q3 has already started. We're halfway through 2026, and I still haven't made like even close to the amount of money I want to make. And it's not even that I've made a lot of progress or any of that stuff, if I'm being honest. Right now, I'm not going to play the blame game or play the spiritual fluff stuff or talk about that. We're going to talk about that later. I'm going to really just talk about the stuff I've been doing and how it just didn't really get me the result I'm looking for, right? Obviously, just like any other person, I want to make money online, and yeah, bro. And by the way, I've even tried like losing weight, never, and obviously it's my fault and never really lost the weight. I'm still a fat fuck. Obviously, this time it's kind of different, as like I've been saying since pretty much 2022. But this time it is kind of almost as if I've detached from even like thinking about food and trying to gain dopamine and just been on this health journey since I had just like major surgery and health issues in about April, you could say like mid March, from mid March. And so I've kind of like, I'm 6 foot two. I used to be 287 pounds, and I eat on average about like 500 to 1,000 calories per day. All right. And I've slowly increased that a bit now to eating like 1,000, forced myself just because of digestion issues and lack of energy throughout the day and sleeping a lot more, which is obviously harming the business side of things. But that's just besides the point. That I'm like for sure, like there's not a single doubt in my mind that I won't be fit as fuck by the end of the year. There's no doubt in my mind, maybe even sooner. All right. Because I'm also going to the gym, but I've also quit heavy lifting. That's something else, maybe a short video may come in the future about that, but um 11, 12 minutes left. But aside from that, right, since 2023, I'm going to say I have been trying. Maybe I haven't, right? Because if you do really try, you do get the result at the end of the day. And you could call this health thing me trying, but aside from that, I have been putting certain amount of inputs, right? And that has not gotten me the result I wanted, which is obviously loads of money. Like I'm not even close. In fact, I'll be honest, I have got a client, but I haven't still made money. Obviously, it's the client, it's also me not being serious, not putting enough input, blah blah blah. But the point is, no results, nothing, which makes me a pussy and a stupid ass person because, or my old identity, whatever, because he wasn't able to get what he wanted. And so that begs the question, why, right? Obviously, there are always two sides to it, right? God and your inputs, and they're both interlinked together and kind of the identity stuff as well. I am getting distracted, but I have the lead scraper. And so, why haven't I been successful? And I've been contemplating about this for the longest, not for the longest, but today specifically. Like, what could be the reason I'm not successful with this? And I've seen other kids start after me and get immense, profound success while I'm still broke. And it would be me coping if I said I live in a third world country, but still, maybe you don't get as successful as them, but at least you get like what, 5%? At least 5%, but not even there. I'm not even there. I'm not even like 1% there, you know. And so it's like obviously everybody has their own journeys, but it still begs the question: why am I not successful, or at least a bit closer, you know? Uh, and the reason is obviously putting your trust in God, right? Building a relationship with Him, and then also putting the inputs that are needed, that are required, right? And I got this thought because I think I'm not putting in enough inputs. I have to call myself out, and it's maybe even the thought of like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not happy, you know. Like, I'm genuinely just like not happy, like at all. And maybe it's also because I'm not fulfilled and I'm not. I haven't attached myself to the work I'm putting in, so that I get fulfilled from that the work I do. Like it gives me a relief. That's the only thing it gives me. If I do the work, if I put some inputs in, that thing just gives me the relief that oh you've done something. So I have no idea. Like today I was working for the clients. We were finally launching. I'm pushing him a lot. And I was working on the in fact I even did this exact same thing yesterday where when I was actually writing and doing the call booked sequences, the email reminders, the SMS reminders, and then the call canceled or no show reminder sequences, email, SMS, blah blah blah, all of that shit, and even just like writing the copy with Claude, of course. I timed myself, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself this time, and let's see how much I get done. And it almost always, these both times took double the time. So I kept a timer for 30 minutes. Mind you, before that, I was already to some extent done with the task. Not fully, maybe halfway through or something, but anyways, I put a timer for 30 minutes. It took 30 minutes longer, which still means it took me 1 hour to finish that task, right? The stuff that was left. And so that begs the question, if I'm sleeping, let's just say 9 hours a day, I'm eating for 1 hour, even though I'm not eating much. Let's just say 1 hour. That's 10 hours. Let's say I give 1 hour to family. I give a total of 2 hours to the gym, including taking a shower. That's 2 plus 1. That's three. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 9, 13. Where's all the rest of the time going? Let's say I'm 10 hours a day. Where's where are those 10 hours going? And what am I doing with them? And so I feel as though I'm coping and I'm not being consistent enough with the stuff I'm doing and I end up wasting time and I cope on God that maybe God doesn't want me to do this or maybe God is making me suffer. I mean we all have our own trials and tribulations, right? I'm not gonna sit like I think suffering is a really graceful period, a really beautiful period everyone should go through. Uh and you only get to say that once you've actually gone through that, I think. But aside from that, I think this is a video to myself for the future when I have achieved what I want to achieve, or at least get closer. Uh, because it's not about reaching 100K per month, it's about getting a bit close to that, maybe 10K per month. And that's the real change, not the 100K per month thing. That's a real big shift in your mind, in your physicality. But, anyways, I think I'm going to start a new series. I have no idea what I'm going to title this video. I don't know, maybe I'm lost. Maybe I have a plan now. And the plan is always to just like put more inputs, do more stuff, do it more consistently, do it with more persistence, and then leave it all on God, right? I've been praying more than I have ever done in my life. I'm closer to God, in my opinion, or at least I'm trying to be the closest I've ever been. And I feel that's also because you need God, someone who you can just like put your faith in and just like be like, yeah, it's on you now. Uh, and you want that kind of figure, especially after surgery and all that stuff. It's a mental journey more than a physical journey. Like like it's really fucking weird. It is really fucking weird. I do not know how to explain it, but sometimes, and this is really often, I just like, damn, bro, it's been like what, 3.5 years, and fuck being a millionaire, you haven't even made 1K a month, you know, uh, and I am fucking broke, bro. So it's like, well, it's gonna change, like genuinely gonna change, because I said I was gonna be consistent with content. I coped about that, and I didn't become consistent with content. I heard Hermosi today, post 3 times a week. If you're doing outreach, you don't need to focus that much. That's fine. I get it. I have to do that with content. I sat down, figured what I have to do with content and the kind of stuff I need to upload, but just showing what I'm doing, and then documenting and just like doing stuff I feel like I can leverage other people's proof. You know, for example, when it comes to film breakdowns, I can be like, hey, let's analyze this property coach's funnel, and this is based off this other guy who makes 200 to 50K per month, and this is what he does, and you're doing this stuff wrong, right? And I'm just communicating value. I'm kind of like the middleman there, because you want to, in my opinion, or even like the majority opinion when it comes to business owners, is like, do not create something new. First, replicate what's already working, and then based off of your experience, you can create stuff, new stuff, and test out new stuff. You know what I mean? And so I go like 2.5 minutes on the clock right now, and do what's gonna change? Like, there are still technically like what, 6 months left in the rest of the year. I am probably like, I've been doing Istikara. Um, like I can't really explain how it's done. I mean, I can explain how it's done. I can't really explain what it is. I'm not well versed in that yet, but it's something like a prayer or call to God to guide you in the right direction and give you a signal that what you're doing or you're thinking of doing is the right thing to do. And I've been doing that every single day, literally without fail. And I may, let's see, I don't know, but I may work for like marketing purposes, specifically social media to start up with, and then AI systems for my like for my doctor, like my surgeon who did my eye surgery, and just like they just like helped me. I think it's really fulfilling. It won't pay much, but I think it's like enough to actually get more experience, test out stuff. Obviously, it's in a local market. It's like for a Pakistani market, but it's still better. And I get to kind of like do something, play more with AI. I get to earn some money. It's not much. It's like, I have no idea how much it's gonna be. I'm even ready to do it for free. Um, but it probably will just like cover software costs and give me some experience, you know. Uh, and obviously kind of even like earn me some good points, goodwill from God Himself. I think the timer's gonna end. It's like 30 seconds are left. I'm just gonna end it here. I think it's gonna take like what. So here's what I do. I essentially pause this, and then just like start stopwatch from here. And so I have no idea where that's gonna take me. I feel as if though it's gonna help me uh gain goodwill from God or something. I may be using the wrong word. I have no clue, but it's just gonna give me some good deeds, right? Get written on my book for the day of judgment, which I think will be also good. Plus, I think which is going to be good overall in terms of experience, communication, uh, and yeah, I think it's not going to help me with the online business or anything. It may actually, you know what? It may, because if I'm making an impact and I'm giving back to someone who's like really helped my eyes and shit, I think God may appreciate that. I have no idea. I think this is becoming too philosophical. Not that there is anything inherently bad with that. I just don't want to make this conversation that philosophical. I want to focus on some tangible stuff. And so today I go like, it's 5 p.m., right? I want to end things at like 10:30, right? Maybe 11. And I have technically at least 4.5 hours, 4 hours of actual work I can actually do. And so that's the thing. Why am I gonna get done? That is the question, right? Um, I gotta scrape some leads, do some follow ups. I gotta find some leads, wet some leads. And so it's like, what's gonna change? I think and it's gonna be more painful, obviously, if I haven't been putting enough work that means I'm gonna have to put in enough like volume and put in more reps than I've ever done, and that's obviously gonna be painful. But it's like you've gone so far as to detach from food, and I mean like detaching from sweeteners too, which I'm highly skeptical about as well. It's also to some extent you want to please your doctor, or like just like after when you've been through so much through surgery and complicated, you want to just like get healthier, you know. So if I've done that and there's like food doesn't give me pleasure anymore, like literally I treat it as fuel, except for like a fucking coffee, then might as well, you know, like go all in, like completely all in, and just do it, you know. Like what else is there to do? Like if I know I'm not putting in enough reps, then it's like, what else is there to do? Like go back to the old habits, just like live average, close this chapter of my life where I've spent 3.5 years and make zero progress and be like, yeah, I failed. Or just like keep going and keep trying and actually make it work. Right? Like in business, you know, like when you're starting a business, it is illogical for a person, in my opinion, if you know what to do, to not get your first client in the first like for 1 to 2 months. Or I think it's illogical. Especially with the information available on YouTube and the fact that you can like script multiple YouTube videos, put them into Notebook LM, and synthesize them and have the best like sauce, you know, and through volume, through reps, test every single thing out really fast. And I'm talking about like the specifics. Choosing a vehicle, like a business model, obviously mine is sophisticated with growth operating, which is like sales and marketing systems and AI, obviously. But I think that's fairly simple. I think it's all volume related. I think the game of anything in life, if you have interest in it, it's not that difficult. If you, for a doctor, it's not hard to become a doctor. Like physically and like in terms of the amount of work required, yes, it is. But say for a business, it's not complicated or that hard or that painful. Maybe it is, but the point is, since you have interest, you still go through it, and it's not as difficult as you think it is because you may not have interest in that thing, right? So, for example, if my doctor, and I think this is the best example that clicks in my head is like social media for my doctor is hard because she does not have any interest in it, and she never really took interest in it, and she doesn't want to, and that's completely fine. Obviously, who the fuck cares? And it's the same thing for me. Like I have no interest in becoming a doctor, right? I think that's not for me. But helping them is one of my interests, and so I can do that, you know, through marketing and through like AI systems when they're actually good enough to some extent. Like I'm talking about like full automations. But anyways, obviously I'll try those out. But aside from that, it's been I think like 20 minutes. I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna edit this and upload it today. I don't give a fuck. And dude, if like I hope I know my future self is gonna watch this video and take this as the turning point because what else is there to do? You know, like genuinely, what else is there to do? Then pursue the endeavors, get closer to God, and help society. Like business, the thing I'm doing in business. So, for example, I'm helping coaches make more money, right? Essentially, which which the coaches help other consumers or normal people make more money. Technically, that should be fulfilling, but it's not. I think it's the thing I do with the money, the halal money, is the thing that's going to be fulfilling. For example, buying an iPhone for yourself is not as fulfilling or doesn't give you enough happiness as compared to if you give it to one of your family members or someone who you care about, you know? And I think that's what actually gives you more happiness. I think 100%. 100%. Maybe as a man as well. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see myself in the future seeing this video, seeing this as the real turning point, being consistent, being persistent, putting in so much volume that it negates luck, and building a really good connection with God because I really do want to help people, whether that's through charity, do God's work, help local businesses as well. Like it's like, why help local businesses? I don't know. Because you want to actually help the doctors. I think helping doctors is more important than helping patients because you can do what the doctors can, but you can definitely help the doctors make a bigger impact. And that's what I'm kind of doing. And that's the intention behind it. Like I would find more happiness and fulfillment if I help a doctor than helping patients because I know the doctor can make a bigger impact. So me helping the doctor increases my fulfillment in return. Um, but yeah, I think that was kind of like a weird loophole. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you guys don't watch this video. If I'm being honest, and I'm saying this humbly, I do not care. I'm doing this for myself. So, for my future self, I was gonna watch this video, inshallah. So, yeah.